have to have two streams open at once. We'll be over at Curtin University, Perth, and I say we, as in the Gridiron Australian public, as a general, watching WA taking on Victoria at 2 p.m. local time. So, last round for next week, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we will have Week 5, Victoria, New South Wales at Henry Turner, South Reserve, Fitzroy, Victoria, and then the big clash, WA versus Queensland, which, depending how this week goes, could ultimately sort of be a bit of a grand final.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely is. Both those teams have been playing really well. I'm also very interested in seeing Victoria versus New South Wales as well. They're both really polished teams from what I've seen so far. So,
alrighty. Well, before we kick off is not far away, but before we get there, I had a chance to speak to both the coaches in pre-game. Let's hear what they had to say. All right, week 3, game 2 for you, coach. Coming off a strong win there. After a win like that, what's it like trying to keep your players sort of in check?
It's probably been a bit easier than I would thought, because we've told them. Remember, what I said from game 1, it was a grand final every game. So that's great. That we need to worry about game number 2 now, and I'm focusing more on ourselves rather than the opposition. So really, not so much I don't mind who we're playing. It's how are we playing amongst ourselves. How's our attitude? Are we catching everything? Are we blocking everything? I think practice on Thursday night, because we had Anzac Day, we moved our practice to Thursday. It was a little better than pre-Victoria. They got it, but we did make some mistakes. But we'll see how we go today.
Mate, your visitors coming in 0-2. Is it a case of beware the wounded shark at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's Seb, Teddy, a few other guys on the team as well. We saw they can break it. So it's a case of we need to do our job. We need to do our job well. As I said, don't mind if it's SA, don't mind if it's New South Wales or whoever it is. We got to beat ourselves.
Mate, any you're coming against a team that's probably a little bit different to the team you played last week. Any sort of personnel changes you've made to the playing squad today?
Yeah, I actually have, Kenny. We've changed a few things. I mean, Vic was a very run-heavy team, so we went in with a few more D linemen, and today we've seen the speed of these guys out here, out wide, if they get the ball out wide, so we've made a few more adjustments in the defensive back area as well.
Mate, last week you had struggle against a quarterback that got his running game on eventually, and you kept him chick eventually. You've got another quarterback today who's a former wide receiver who can certainly do damage with his legs as well. Has that been part of the game plan?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things we're going to have to really hone to the D-line is, we might only be rushing 4, there's 5 offensive linemen, but you've got to keep Teddy in the pocket. I mean, much respect to him. He's a former Air Force member with Australian Outback as well, so, he can run. But, we've just got to do our job and do it well, not so much just go, hey, he's running, let's go get him. It's have assignments.
You mentioned a name before, Sebastian Burford, who you've coached at the junior level. He's doing his thing at the senior level now. Caught a great slant against New South Wales. Surely eyes on him?
Oh, absolutely. I just had a quick word to him before. He's telling me he goes, Coach, I almost ran out of gas at about the 20-yard line, but just managed to keep going. But no, he's one of those guys that we just need to worry about. If he catches it in space, we need to make sure we get there very quickly.
Fantastic. Appreciate your time, Coach. Coach Aiken, welcome to Queensland. Look, you're coming up, you're still chasing that first W. The job doesn't get any easier against the defending champs, though, does it?
No, it doesn't. We've watched film on them. We know they're good. They obviously have a pretty good reputation for a reason.
Mate, we had a chance to speak during the week, and 2 players or a group that you were very positive about were your wide receivers group there, particularly on the outside, trusting they're going to get a lot of involvement.
Yeah, as long as we can block for them and they can get open, that'd be fantastic. But they certainly have a lot of talent. Getting the ball in their hands in the right area, they are certainly not lacking for speed, and they have really good hands. They're good route runners, so we're confident in both of them for sure.
Week 1, you went up against a really big defensive lineman unit on both sides of the ball against Victoria. Talent-wise, Queensland probably is happy to say they're equal, but certainly not size-wise. Do you prefer this favourable size matchup?
Well, for the most part, we like the fact that there's nice weather out here. I mean, the type of game that we were trying to run against that defense doesn't tend to be very productive in a torrential downpour. So for us, it's really just about using the right proper technique and relying on the fact that we've coached them up and that they can be really aggressive at the point of attack. And if we do all those things, I think we'll be successful.
Your cornerback Myers, mate, 2 picks last week, one a crazy one-hander, the other one a pick 6. A ball-hawking sort of guy. Is that someone you trust? Just leave one-on-one out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Sam plays for my club back home as well, and he is certainly reliable as a lockdown corner. We don't really have to worry about putting a safety over the top with him. He's got great hip turn, reads the quarterback really well. And on the other side as well, Henry Olsen, he is also a fantastic corner. I think both of those guys should challenge for spots for the national team for sure.
Mate, for Queensland, obviously they had a good outing against Victoria last week. There's plenty of tape from last tournament. Who's really caught your eye from that squad so far?
Well, they have two really good quarterbacks. They have two really good running backs. They have a solid offensive line. And if you have that, especially when you're running an option game like they do, you know, they're not a want for talent in those positions. So our job in the option game is, if you're watching at home, we're gonna hit the quarterback. You know, we know he likes to try to run the ball up the middle, but if it's going to be an option, we're going to take the option away and make him pitch it. Hopefully, the guys on the outside will be able to make the tackle on the running back. We'll see how that goes.
Finally, mate, you did mention the quarterbacks there. There was a rotation going on last game. You prepared for both Queensland quarterbacks?
Yeah, we've got notes on both the guys. We know one likes to run a little bit more. We know one likes to throw a little bit more. But it's really not necessarily about what they're doing. It's about us sticking to our schematics and doing our job on defense. And regardless if they run or pass, we should be fine.
Coach, appreciate your time. All right, great insight from both coaches there. Both coaches more than happy to have a chat with me there, and I had a good long chat with Drew yesterday, and you just saw in the interview he's talking a lot of his skill position guys that he's really happy with. Myers was fantastic against New South Wales, 2 picks there, we had a good chat, and we'll probably talk through a broadcast about this as we see the coin toss about to go ahead now between the Queensland and the South Australian Shark captains. But talking about, you know, having to overcome the size issue, he says, because he goes, he's got a lot of talent, but just trying to find that beef in the middle to compete at the national level can be hard. Yep. Coming from a state or a city like Adelaide or South Australia, where they're really a one-sport city as far as contact sports goes. They're big on the AFL, and obviously that doesn't always lend themselves to your general or your stereotypical lineman, you know, body types.
Yeah.
Whereas Queensland and New South Wales big in their rugby league and rugby union backgrounds.
Yeah, that's right. And it's even in Queensland, it's still difficult finding those big bodies who are can adapt to the game well. So I completely feel for them. But I'm hoping to see those big bodies do a good job out there today.
Nonetheless,
I'm
not going to be surprised at all to see so many of their skill positions to be up there for outback selection. They've got plenty of talent in the DB ranks and the wide receiver ranks. Tedmondson's going to be throwing his ring for the quarterback position as well. So,
yep. And when I was watching the film from last week, the receivers played really well. They were running really good routes. They were making great catches, getting positive yardage. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
We just saw there on the coin toss, South Australia won the toss and they will defer. So likely Queensland will take the ball and they'll be running left to right on your screen. So how about we take a look at the team list here as the teams get ready for kickoff. We'll start with the home side, the Queensland Sun Devils. Mike, from last week, there's only going to be 2 changes. Frankie Passamani, DB, he'll be inactive today, as will Brad Ebden. We saw the injury him last week. Stepping him, they got pretty good company there. They're bringing 2 DBs, or one of them's a linebacker now, in Jamal Sinapati, and then also your friend, Daniel Wenban.
Daniel Wenban, I know he's really super keen to get out there, get some contact, and I mean, you've watched some of our games before, Kenny. You know that he loves to get in there, get contact early, make some big hits, try and make a difference. So
yeah, we saw him playing for the Wildcats. If you look up his highlights, he had a fantastic game against the Ravens there in that back part of the year, and then we've still got a bit of time, so we'll take a look at South Australia as well. They've played 2 games, so we've had a good chance to take a look at them these past 2 weeks. Andre Benjamin on the outside, very deadly. Leroy White and the whole Whiten family famous in South Australia in that Gridiron community. Bradley Overall, I had a chance to watch him at the national level last year at the Junior Nats. He's very dynamic and played both sides of the ball. It looks like he's made his home at safety. And then also a bit of a change due to injury there. It looks like Andrew Stevens, usual linebacker, a veteran there. He'll actually be playing both ways at right guard and at middle linebacker. He's moved to number 68.
Don't see that too often at the state level.
Well, I think it goes back to them having to sort of make do with the personnel they have.
Yeah.
So here we go. Week 3 in the AGL kicks off, and the dynamic return crew of Darius Holiday-Miller and Cooper Ta'ala will not have a chance to return that after a good kickoff here, and I think you'll probably be able to hear it through our microphones. It's a windy day here at Everton Park.
We'll see how they go. It looks like Corwin's going out there with the start, so...
There was a question mark whether they were going to go with the, he's being known as the option guy at the moment there with Ben Stokes, or was it going to be the drop-back passer and Tommy Corwin. Right now we see a Wildcats Wildcats helmet out there, and a fun fact for you there, Tommy Corwin is the first Wildcats quarterback in a Queensland system since the man to my right here, Mike Jones, playing for the junior nationals back in, what was it, 2006 maybe?
Yeah, 2006, 2007, yeah, a long time ago. But let's hope Corwin can keep it going, for the
Here he
Wildcats.
goes. Plenty of experience. It'll be a Holiday Miller run to start us off. He's found plenty of space. Block is still up front. Bessie gets a block too. He's bouncing off tacklers of Myers being the last one there and eventually forced out of bounds, but that's a 21-yard gain there from Darius Holiday Miller.
Such a good carry, and he just stays upright. He slips those tackles, and he just works his way up the sideline there. Good blocking from the receivers as well.
And he gets started early. Took him a while to break a big one there. He was definitely getting more of those 4 to 5 yard gains, which as a coach you're not going to complain about if your running back's picking up for an average of 4 yards per carry.
That's right, and I feel like they're going to try set up the run so you can allow Tommy to start throwing those deep passes later on in the game.
All right, here he goes again for a second carry. Over pursuit there, and Holiday Miller's going to cut back for another good gain on first down here. And let's take a look at that on replay. Number 53 there does a good job of containing him initially. That's Caleb Obaid there, and forgive me if I get some of the pronunciations wrong today. But the Holiday
Just need
Miller
the linebackers to keep flowing across in situations like that as well. Try to stop that a bit closer to the line of scrimmage.
All right, here we go. A little twinge back. Is that a tight end I see the Sun Devils using? Didn't utilise much of that position last week, but here they are, left side of the line. Holiday Miller in motion. It'll be his third carry of the day. Three plays to Holiday Miller to number 3. Now number 3, Holiday Miller cuts it out to the outside, and Queensland on a 3-play drive. They drive it in for the opening touchdown here in week 3. Darius Holiday Miller.
Great run. But what really made that play was the blocking from the offensive line and then the receiver downfield. He just does enough to hold up the defensive back. Holiday Miller does the rest.
Absolutely. He doesn't need a whole lot of space. The receiver downfield block there was Taniwa Hokyanga. It was another one of these junior national guys. Played for the Sun Devils last time. A lot of reps on him. He didn't get an opportunity to really explode last week against Victoria. They're going to probably maybe look to get him a little more involved this time. But now looking to go for a 2-point conversion. Goes Ben Goff. He got the first one last week. Gets the first one this week. 8 points for the Queensland Sun Devils. Now also bear with us, they have left us in charge to do the scoreboard and time here, and knowing me and my ability with buttons, I'm probably going to send a nuke to somewhere in the world at this point. As we look in the replay there.
Yeah, it's actually pretty tricky doing all these little things, Kenny, but I mean, that was a great first drive for Queensland. Set the tone of the game for them offensively. Now I'm really interested to see what the defense does out there, and even special teams. We saw last week they were very explosive on special teams, Queensland. So
yeah, indeed. Well, they've got 2 really talented guys themselves back deep here for South Australia. Seb Burford, I think, is one of them I can see down there. And I tell you what, if he gets ahead of steam and he catches it on his bootlaces.
On the fly, good take.
And that is, in fact, Sebastian Burford, who we spoke about in pre-game, Coach Drew and I, his ability with the ball in hand. He's one of those real rack guys.
Try to get the ball to him early. He looks explosive just based off that. So
saw last week there, he caught a slant underneath 2 other receivers, and then he took it the distance. He was telling his coach, I think he was telling Coach Holiday Miller, who coached him at junior level, and here we go. I'll come back to that in a second. The first carry there goes to number 36 and Damien Volar, who's known as a DT, but he's playing some running back this tournament. Yeah, and he took it the distance. He was telling Coach Hollywood that he almost ran out of gas at the 20 there, but managed to get it in.
He was flying though. He was a rocket. He got a great block as well. So
going to the bit of a read option again, and look at him churning his legs forward. They'll set him up for third down here. And,
bit of a different start in comparison to last week, where they came out in the empty set, 5 receiver sets, and they were throwing the ball a lot. So I think they're kind of trying to test the Queensland defense here.
Well, it'll be interesting. As we saw last week, when they get given some good weather, this South Australian offense can get going.
Yeah.
You know, that Victoria game was a complete disaster for the type of offense they're trying to run, but Queensland has blessed them with an opportunity. Tedmonson with his first pass of the game. It's complete. And a big hit there, but nonetheless a fantastic first down. A third down conversion there. Tedmonson
Calvin
to
Young,
number 87.
in there.
Sam Morton. Sorry to interrupt you there. Mate.
You're right, Calvin Young coming across. Good to see him out there. He really gets in there, gets a bit of contact.
Yeah, that's a pass there to Sam Morton, who I've been told to keep my eyes on. We'll get back to that in a second. Another run here to Volado. Yes, indeed it was, and he's doing a decent job up the middle.
He's doing well.
And Damien Voller, a versatile athlete, but right now just trusted to carry load in the middle. But yeah, this running game, not afraid to go up the middle.
Yeah, it was, touching on what you said, it was really difficult to judge how good a team South Australia was in that first
got him
week.
offside. And flags coming in everywhere. And that'll be a 5-yard penalty after an opportunity. That's one of the scenarios you kind of wish you have a long pass called there, or your quarterbacks and receivers are on the same page. You can get a deep one, but when you've got a quick screen going, it's a wasted opportunity.
It should actually be inbuilt where if you see that the defense jumps, the receivers should just run a go route instantly, and that's what Andre Benjamin did. So just a bit of miscommunication, I think, in between the quarterback and receiver.
Indeed, I think Isaac Masalam is watching the stream, one of the running backs on this squad member. He didn't travel up to Queensland this time. I will pass out a thank you to him. He did a great job in getting me the team list for today. I do appreciate that, Isaac. And in motion, they go Nolte, and a give to him on the sort of jet sweep, and he does a good job, takes contact initially, and then finds a way to get away from it and picks up close to a first down.
Yeah, looks like a first down to me. Good, well-designed play and good blocking, and gets to the edge and just tries turning it up.
Oof. And
that's a tough spot, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, about a yard short of the first down, third down. They've converted one so far in this drive. Let's see if they can do it again. That was a Sam Morton pass they converted on last time. Let's see if they go back to him again. Hard count. They won't get him. Vola will be the man trusted to get it, and he will reward that trust with a first down and more.
They're in man coverage there, so I mean, good play call. If I'm down there, I'm taking a shot in that man-to-man coverage. But I mean, they get the first down, so you can't say no to that.
It's a long, sustained drive going here.
And it's good. I mean, they're mixing up the play calls. They're trying to get a few different ball carriers the ball, so I think that's what they need to keep doing. Try test this defense, see what they can do.
Whole drive they've been using hard counts, and it's getting him on edge. Burford takes hit upon contact from Darren Hill, and he breaks it. And there is that breakaway action from Seb Burford. We were talking about South Australia. They answer back.
Wow, such a great catch. He stays upright, and you can see that speed. He just turns it straight to the end zone. That's where he's going.
Now let's take a look here. As a linebacker, you think you're probably going to take give a bit more to the wide receiver going up there.
That's right. I mean, those linebackers should be hurting people in situations like that, but the receiver did a great job.
I think that might be Terry O'Neill. I'm not sure. 53. Well, they'll go up for a PAT.
And it is good.
It's successful.
8-7. I think that's a perfect response from South Australia.
Not only the big play at the end there, but the fact that they proved that they can move the ball intermediately as well. That's a big statement from SA.
Oh, they're willing to go 4 quarters here based off that. They're willing to chip away, take those short yardage plays, and then allow their players to make those big plays in these drives. So very methodical, and it was good to see that from South Australia.
Indeed.
There's going to be a few questions asked on that defense, I think, and Francois might be, looks like he'll be having a chat to a few of them.
The thing about him is, whilst you may lose him a play day, you don't lose him as a coach, and he's one of the best defensive football minds in Queensland and probably the state and probably the country, to be honest.
That's right. One of the toughest players I've ever played against, but yeah, super valuable having a coach out there as well when he is playing and off the field.
And look at this kick sail. Tyler runs into Holiday Miller. Holiday Miller catches it though, and he tries to bring it out, and wow, look at this kick coverage from the Sharks. They get him inside the 10.
These guys are amped up. I'm loving this vibe down here.
And look at the... Also, let's give a shout out to that kick. That hung in the air for what felt like ages. And on the
Well, as you said, these guys are AFL.
Yeah, Hamish
AFL
Lee
players,
Robbins
you
on the
know,
tackle there.
They know how to kick a ball.
That they do. And yeah, these conditions are definitely favourable to them.
It'll be interesting to see, you know, if once they do start taking those long shots or even intermediate, if that wind starts to play a factor in the throws.
See how they go. Corwin's back, as is Holiday Miller, the touchdown scorer from the first drive. Tanawa, the receiver, out wide, back to Holiday Miller. They go. He breaks the first tackle. He's still going. He's still going. A block there from Tanawa. Holiday Miller, has he got it in the tank to take it all the way? He gets tripped up, and a big gain there on first down. He takes it all the way to the South Australian 28.
Great carry, and it comes down to the line of scrimmage. The offensive line are allowing Darius to do that, and then the downfield blocks. So,
well, he comes off of the big run there. In comes big James Taylor, and he is a load to bring down there. Let's see if they cut back in the inside with the change of personnel.
I think the coaching staff and Tommy will be quite happy that this run game's going. It just means it just opens it right up, you know, when you start passing the ball.
All right, Kupi Ta'ala. He's in at running back now, the pinball machine from last week. It'll be a give up the middle to James Taylor, moving to the fullback position this year. And he rumbles and stumbles forward for a couple of yards.
I think domestically he had a really great season, so it's good to see him in the state team. And, you know, fullback is a big boys, and it shows in a carry like that.
We're seeing a timeout here. Now, speaking of time, however, I will just also give you the heads up. They've also trusted us with the running of the clock here in today's game, and we'll do our absolute best to make that as accurate as possible. But
yeah, really,
can't promise it'll be exactly second to second.
It's a lot of fun, but you know, you start watching the footy and then you get really wrapped up in it. So
just an injury there. Matthew Ollie, the starting centre, will be coming off, it appears, and I'm going to guess that Ryan Glasson will slide over to the centre spot and they'll bring in a new guard. Plenty of depth in that Queensland offensive line, though.
Yeah, that's right. And I know Tommy, and I'm kind of feeling like he'd want to be taking a shot right about now. You know, he's second in about 6 or 7. I mean, you still have another down and play with. I reckon he'll take a shot in this situation.
Now, what's interesting, though, whilst he's an experienced centre and Ryan Glasson changes centre, and he should be watching the exchange here. They nail it. Corwin dropping deep. I think you might have called it. He's throwing over the middle. Caught Mitchell Bessie. Just short of the goal line, though.
Great
Literally
catch.
1 yard out.
Perfect. Maybe I should be a coach or something, or a commentator maybe. No, I think that was the right time to be taking a shot, and it puts them in a great position here. They'll probably just run it in. So,
well, they've kept the big personnel in there. James Taylor's still in there. Kupi Ta'ala could be in for his first Queensland touchdown. And it's a pitch to Ta'ala. Ta'ala's got some speed. He'll use that speed to get to the outside. Kupi Ta'ala with his first touchdown as a Queensland Sun Devil in his 7th ever game of Gridiron.
I'm really liking this kid. He's just so versatile. You add him into the offense, the special teams as well. I noticed John kind of said that they were possibly just saving him for special teams, but it's good to see him out there getting carries early.
And the old little, I remember as a Los Angeles Chargers supporter, that play being utilised in LaDainian Tomlinson's heyday, and they execute that little fullback fake and halfback pitch to perfection. Here they are going for 2 points again. Kupi Ta'ala, can he get in for a second score? No, he'll be stopped short. The South Australian defence holds strong. That keeps the score there to 14-7.
Again, it's looking like this is going to be a really good game if it keeps up like this.
It's been back and forth, hasn't it? It's been watching a tennis match in the grand scheme of things, back and forth, back and forth. I think for any of the neutral viewers at home, they would be loving a big offensive shootout.
I mean, everyone loves a bit of offense out there, but if you're a defensive coordinator, I mean, you might be a bit critical of this, but
if you think about it, even let's throw back to 6, not even that, 4 to 6 to 10 years ago, there was across Australia, it was all about the defense and which offense would be able to break through or which defense would fail first. And nowadays, the offensive expansion, particularly at the quarterback position and the receiver positions, the improvement all across the nation, we're able to see these big college-esque 30 to 40 point, tennis matches.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Hang on, let's hold our breath for a second. Burford Gorst, who's had one explosive play. Can he make it a second? He can't. Nonetheless, not bad field position. They'll be starting just inside their own 30. South Australian Sharks in possession.
And touching on what you were talking about, there's so many offensive schemes, which are kind of coming over across from college football and the NFL, which is starting to be implemented in Australia. So it is really making it really challenging for the defenses to keep up with that.
And what also helps is that as this game becomes a lot less of a minority sport as it has been in the past, we're seeing a lot more athletes come along to our sport, which is allowing us to do more things. Here we go, Voller again. Gosh, they're finding some space in the interior of that line on first down, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Damien Molloy comes in super low. That was shoelaces almost.
Oh, Damien on Damo action.
Those big boys are doing a good job up front, though. I think it's going to be a good battle in that line of scrimmage in the trenches there. So,
starting in the interior is Jason Leon and Ryan Newton from the Ravens and Stingrays, respectively. And here's that Nolte again in Nolte. He's going to try and find space on the outside again. Not as successful as his first carry. That'll bring up third down.
And the defense just kept pushing him across. There was no way to cut back in a situation like that. So.
Third down now. South Australia's been quite good on third down. They converted through a Morton pass the first time around, and then Seb Burford came in for the touchdown on the latter opportunity. Oh, sorry, it was that was on first down following the Damien Voller conversion. So third down has been a friendly down to him so far. Let's see if that trend continues. Here, deep drop there from quarterback in Tedmondson. He attempts to pass to Nolte on the flat. Incomplete.
Puts it a little too far ahead of Nolte, but I think it was the right idea. Take what the defense gives you.
This wind is actually a bit of it's swirling, mate. It's going left and right across the field. It's predominantly coming across the field to the cameras.
Oh, it's tricky to tell.
Yeah, trying to hit those flats to this sideline, the camera sideline, is going to be a bit difficult for both quarterbacks. Here we go, the first punt of today. Here we go, Tedmondson, who's also the quarterback. He did a great job punting last week against New South Wales. Calvin Young, well, he originally said leave it, now they're going to it. Koopy Ta'ala, maybe a little bit of inexperience showing there, but things got a little tense there as we didn't know if the Queensland players were going to touch that or not.
As a coach, that just scares me. That scares me a lot.
Well, a great punt there eventually. Mark an inside 20 up there for Tedmondson and his punting stats.
Really good punt. It was pretty interesting punt formation, actually. It kind of looks like they got a half spread and then a tight on one side, and then trying to figure out what the idea is behind that.
Well, we've seen plenty of funky different formations for the punting teams all across from Australia, and which is obviously trickling from America, I should say, trickling down to here. It's everyone's got their own different way they like to handle things. As we see another carry here, this time it's James Taylor.
Great carry.
Rumbles forward. Queensland showing they can rumble up the middle too.
That's right. So talking about Tommy Corwin, I can't actually remember the last time he was under centre. Even in college, he wasn't under centre, so Hollywood must have had a word to him.
Yeah, he's going to have to loosen up those hips.
Yeah. Haven't seen him get down that low for a while.
Okay, so it turns out you're not too far off there, Mike. 30 seconds left in the first quarter, so we're only about 10 seconds out. Well done, mate. First down, Sun Devils. Look at this. Receivers, 4 of them to the right side of this Queensland line, and it'll be a speed option. Holiday Miller plucks it out of the air, but he's met early. Look at this pursuit from South Australia.
That was Darren League. Just gets in there, shots it down. Really interesting play call, but the defense played it perfectly.
Yeah, but was that a speed option with Holiday Miller lined up as a receiver?
Yeah, it looked like it. Wow.
Funky stuff there.
I mean, every time you go 5 receivers and then 4 to one side, it really puts a lot of strain on that defense.
Yeah, Darren League, I'll go with the pronunciation, from Adelaide Uni. I'm already hearing the Brazilian-Canadian accent of Frankie Bassamani giving his defense Instructions on the sideline. Here we are, second and long double stick situation here for Queensland. Here goes Corwin. They'll toss it out to Kupitala. You can see the rugby league Gary from already, but you can see this speed. Look at this speed from Ta'ala. He's got one man to beat. He'll beat him. A long range touchdown to Queensland. Ta'ala in for his second score of the day.
Wow. Oh, there's a flag on the
and
field.
flags down all the way back
no.
at that 20. It's safe to say from the reactions from our sideline here on this side, this will be against Queensland.
I think it's going to be a hold. He does such a great job. The idea is just get him out to the outside and just let him do the rest. And he did do the rest.
He did.
It's a shame he's coming back.
I think it was actually a block in the back there. I wasn't paying attention to the referee, but gosh, the one thing that his running back coach there and head coach in Hollywood Rowe suggested that they'll see out of Kupitala was foot speed. They said he's going to have some of the quickest feet in this tournament.
I can't imagine how fast he would be without pads and helmet.
According to the testing they did in the selection process, he's a 4.39 guy.
Whoa.
And obviously that's hand testing, so leeway. Even if that's a bit off and he's around that 4.5 mark, that's still very, very, very fast for our league. And a short pass here, it'll be Mitch Bessie over the top through the hands. And Queensland here, it'll be a third and forever. South Australia stepping up.
See, yeah, really, I think a strange concept in that situation. The idea is to get Bessie the ball and let him do the rest, but I mean, the defensive back just came up and shot straight up.
Well, here's the thing as well. I mean, I'm not sure if Hollywood does this, but you know, some offensive quarters like doing the whole script system where they'll script X amount of plays and then take down how the defense defends it and use that later. You know, that could have been on the old the list there, whether that was regardless of situation, throw that short screen and see how they defend it.
He's pretty up to date with all the modern concepts. Could have been a backside concept as well, with a front side as well. So
exactly, a draw play here to Ta'ala. Ta'ala, he's done it once. Don't tell me he'll do it again. Spins out of one tackle, but eventually taken down again by the free safety in number 82, Brad Vergara, the strong safety, I should say, is per-listed. But and that'll force them into a punting situation. The special team unit coming on now, and South Australia bailed out by the block in the back penalty on the Ta'ala called back touchdown. They do a good job to fix up the rest.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a safe play call. Put yourself in a good position. Don't go chucking the bus at anything right now. We're still in the first quarter. You don't need to go throwing crazy plays or anything like that. So, good move in my opinion.
Indeed. This could be the last play of the first quarter, as Reese Perkins, who's serving more as a special teamer this tournament, will punt this away, but it will be returnable. And taken down to Ta'ala, who's doing it all today. He's still racing down. How fit is this kid?
He's making an impact early.
Two long runs and the guns down for the punt. He looks wrecked, and as he should be. That punt was there. Returned for a couple of yards by Henry Olsen from Adelaide Uni.
Well, a few big plays from him. He deserves a break, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. But how about this rotation? You send Holly and Miller out of the game and you think you're okay, you're not having to deal with him, and then Kupitala comes in and rips off a big one. Jeez.
Oh, it's going to be tough all day for that South Australian
Vola,
defense.
who's been damaging on first down, continues that. He busted forward for a couple yards, still in the first quarter, but can't have that long remaining. Our last report is that we had 30 seconds remaining, and that felt an age ago.
Joe Rasmussen coming in there and land a bit of wood, I reckon. He's not a big bloke, but he gets in there and makes some contact. So
yeah, well, he's been around the game for a long time. I remember coaching against him in his junior days. Always playing above his weight. And look at this, 5 wide now, but South Australia. It's Edmondson, the quarterback. Haven't had a chance to speak about him yet, but he's got some quality athleticism. He'll throw out to the right. Oh, pass through the hands. Intended there for Sam Morton, who's already had one catch today. That one falls incomplete, brings up third down.
If it touches a hand, you got to catch it.
The old phalange rule.
Yeah. I mean, the quarterback did a great job. He put it in the right spot. I mean, Calvin Young was right there as well, number 15. But you got to bring those in, especially at this stage in the game.
Haven't had a look to Andre Benjamin on the near side yet. Let's see if they go to him now. Tedmondson looks right. He's flushed out of the pocket. He can run. He's going to have to run today. Here he goes again. First rushing attempt there. Doesn't produce a first down. They'll look at fourth, but they are around halfway. Let's see if they chance their hand here. Hearing punt, and we're hearing a change of personnel from Queensland, and it looks like that'll be the case for South Australia as well. Only down a touchdown. They're not gonna. They're gonna play the percentages here and trust their defense. Tedmonton back there, but geez, 4th and short. Their quarterback's a punter.
Yeah, that's right. I'm assuming another good punt from the punter / quarterback.
The freaky feet of Ta'ala's back there. It'll be a kick to Young, though, and it'll be angled towards the sideline. In fact, Young's going to return this, keeps his feet in bounds. Coming back to the middle of the field, finds a block. Blocks are good. He finds another block there, turning upfield now, cuts it back, and eventually Bradley Overall will take him down at the 31-yard line.
A ton of contact all around the field then. The good thing about special teams is it's crazy out there. And
Scott Bice there, the one laying the comeback block. I believe he's in his 5th or 6th year of the sport. Playing, of course, for the football giants. That's the Gold Coast Stingrays.
You can see a flag down there, and it looks like Queensland are making the call. So
I wouldn't be surprised. There were bodies flying everywhere, and a play like that, a block in the back, is almost inevitable.
yeah.
But it was a 5-yard penalty. Didn't get the official call, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think after playing for 12, 13 years, you're kind of just just looking out for players, seeing if they're keeping their head on a swivel in situations like that.
Look at number 12 there, Myers. He's got the assignment of Mitchell Bessie. And James Taylor still in the game. Holiday Miller's still on the sideline. Jason Goff's going to take some carries now. Here we go. Goff getting his first infield carry of the day. He gets a good 4 to 5 yard gain there.
Good block from Andrew Van Blommenstein.
AVB.
Really set the edge and allowed the running back to turn it up.
Yeah, you're right. You can see it on replay there. He's moved back to the tackle position. He's kind of been moving in his career between offensive line and fullback. Was brought on pretty much as a baby guard last tournament there under Steve Box, playing a bit of fullback but also rotating in the line if necessary. Now he makes the full-time switch to O-line, and he's doing a decent job there at right tackle.
Is this his first state team selection?
Well, second, as mentioned last time, was
yes, that's
selected
right.
as a fullback, but he's obviously a great presence as we move into the second quarter now. It looks like the official switch of sides. But yeah, no, he's named as one of the captains for this tournament. So that speaks.
I mean, I think that speaks for him as a player and as a person, having that.
Just switching up our scoreboard there. Quarter to number 2.
Cool. Oh yeah, here we go.
As we work out all this
hard.
crazy technology. All this, look at this ability of being able to click buttons and stuff.
Oh, I know. Look at us go.
It's not like we've got a graduated engineering guy up here and a guy who works in technology for his job. Second down, into the second quarter. Corwin still in the game. Goff, James Taylor. James Taylor will take this zone carry. Look at him rumble forward, carrying players, making people miss.
Wow.
Kicking back to some of his single back days. He gets that first down and then some.
He's a big boy, and he's actually been quite versatile. I saw him last week. He was at receiver as well in the slot there a few times. So having that sort of versatility really allows Hollywood Rowe to
mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up. Make some really interesting play calls.
I'll tell you what, he's been around the game for a while, and he's taken a lot of carries. He was a bell cow back for the Stingrays for a lot of their years past. Now she has the carry with Ben Kari. But not afraid to carrying the load. Here goes Goff. Goff, he's picked up speed early. Look at the offensive line go. Goff's going to reward him with a touchdown. Wow. No flags down. Queensland, another long-range strike.
If you're John Rowe, I think you're going to be pretty happy with this so far. I mean,
oh, look at the offensive line get downfield.
Great carry from Goff.
There we go. All 3 running backs contributing to the score today.
Looks like they'll be going for 2.
The score currently 20-7. They've got 1 2-point conversion so far via Ben Goff. He's in the game now. almost all their 2-point conversions have been a form of running play. Let's see if that continues here. James Taylor by himself in the backfield now. Goff moves out to slot. They'll move to the pass. And that pass was intended to number 87, Hock Tenawa. And that falls incomplete though. The South Australian Sharks holding firm, currently winning the battle on the 2-point conversion front.
That's right. Defense played it really well. I think pretty decent throw.
That's a good route there from Tenawa.
Yeah, really good route.
Couldn't quite bring it in.
And considering this is his first, second.
At senior football, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I speak to Tommy Corwin regularly, and I spoke to him this morning, and he's just so impressed with his natural talent. It's just trying to refine his skills on the gridiron to make a bigger impact. So, a lot of praise from Corwin. I'm sure other people too.
Yeah, well, I had a chance to speak to Corwin through the week as well, and he talked about how, obviously Corwin's played in some pretty big stages. Obviously, a collegiate background that it's allowed him to do some pretty cool stuff in football, and we'll get back to that after this return. Here goes Olsen again, and Olsen taken down approximately around the 25. But Corwin, obviously played at some big stages, and he says this is great for some of these younger guys to get an experience of what real higher level organised football is like. And he says even stuff like the stream by all the states that we're doing gives them a chance to really look at film for the first time, and he just thinks that this state level for all the states involved should be a fantastic coaching opportunity for players to get better and bring that back to their club.
That's right, and from what I've heard, the coaching and the way they run the program in Queensland, I'm not sure about the other states, is just the next level. It's proper football.
Oh, what's Edmondson now? He knows how to play proper football. He's played outback before, and this is another first down run, and what looked like a short gain actually turns out to be about a 3-yard gain. So first down, South Australia, they're doing a great job offensively.
I think they've done a really good job, and I think they're mixing it up a bit, they're still testing this defense, which is going to pay dividends down the track. 5
wide, all receivers, 3 to the right side. Tedmonson looks backside, throws backside. Benjamin gets his first catch of the day. A first down catch to Andre S. Benjamin.
Just a curl route, gets to the first down marker, turns it around, gets that separation.
How about curl routes nowadays? I'm going a bit of a tangent here, but back in the day, particularly in my experience here in Gridiron Queensland, you throw on a hitch, you're usually picking about 4 yards nowadays. With the expansion of these sort of offenses now, a hitch is a first down half the time.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking about first down, they go back to old reliable Damien Voller.
And there's all these inbuilt, inbuilt plays within plays kind of things. So, receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, they're all trained to do certain things in certain situations. So.
Well, I'll give you 3 letters, mate, that are really changing the offensive side of the ball nowadays. That's RPO, run pass option. Queensland, who I was led to believe was going to run a lot of it last week, ended up going to more of an option game. Looks like they're bringing that out this week, this RPO game, which is like plays that have both running and passing options to them, and then plenty of plays and options within that. Tedmonson, Benjamin, clutch catch over the middle between 2 defenders, takes a hit, catches the ball. Oh, nice play there, Benjamin, back-to-back catches.
Great catch, and Thomas Trevina coming in, trying to put a bit of fear into those receivers coming over the middle.
Tommy Trevina, who was serving as one of the rotational guys as a backup to his mentor there, and Frankie Passamani, playing his position today. Plenty of talent, was outstanding for the Stingrays last year. And here we go, a designed quarterback run. Tedmonson bouncing outside, and he takes it all the way into the Sun Devils bench. He's seen some of his friends there. Tedmonson pretty familiar with a lot of these guys, played outback with a lot of these guys, played receiver for Hollywood Row at the outback level. So, he was having a good chat with his old coach before the game.
He'd know them well.
They know him. Tedmonson, who, as I said, I've known him as a receiver, and I predominantly see him play as a receiver. He's actually been playing quarterback at the club level for the last 4 years. So for people who hadn't seen him since the last tournament, he's not thrown in last minute as their best athlete. The guy knows how to play quarterback. Holding there against South Australia. They've been pretty good on penalties so far. Haven't given up a lot. Actually, both teams are probably desperately trying to fix up some of their penalties. Defense on Queensland's behalf wasn't super great last week. I think they gave up about 80 yards.
Actually, heard it was a bit more. So
Maybe I'm being generous there, but
it was quite undisciplined in some of the actions, and I know the coaching staff would have had a lot of words on those penalties, the undisciplined play. You can't afford to give that up in the big games. You know, these are the biggest games of the year. So,
as Hollywood Rose said it through both of his interviews so far, that each game's a grand final for them. You got 4 games to put yourself in the best position to win a championship.
That's right.
You've got to treat every play in that sort of same way as well. As we see a timeout called at the moment, so we've got sitting at approximately 7:10 for us, hoping that's relatively accurate, at least within the minute. As we are taking a look at Everton Park Rugby today, a fantastic field. They definitely take care of it. You actually played this field towards the back end of the season last year, didn't you?
Yeah, they do a great job here. I mean, they got good little canteen there, good viewing points. They really look after it. I think it's a great venue.
Today's game is being hosted by the Brisbane Rhinos here in Gridiron, Queensland. Their president is the treasurer of Gridiron, Queensland, and James Cowlishaw. He's also on this squad, not dressed up today, but does a fantastic job. As we see a pass intended to number 21 and Hamish Lee Robbins, and he hits the back of a Queensland defender who was in man coverage.
Nada.
Togafu?
Yeah, that's right. Did good. He's in the right position. He doesn't know the ball's there.
And see, he turned his head. He would have got a pick. Joys in man coverage.
I think he had a good game last week, and it looks like he's still going pretty good.
He did. He's an athletic guy. He can really go sideline to sideline, can't he?
He's just when he lays the wood, he lays the wood.
He does. Another 5 wide set. 3 to the wide side. Dempson looks over the middle and throws back to Burford. Ghost! Oh, off 2 sets of hands and then almost finishing in the hands of the outback corner and Calvin Young, but safely to the ground it falls.
And maybe that wind is playing an impact on those short throws.
Seeing Cheyenne James come to the sideline. Another one Queensland hoped to have been dressed up by today, but he's got a lingering hand issue that he's hoping to be fixed by the end of the tournament. 3rd down and a while after that holding penalty. Again, staying in 5 wide. Burford just Burford nowadays, I should say. He's the widest of those. Over the middle goes Tedmondson, though. He finds his man. Oh, the ball comes out in a fumble! But safely recovered by South Australia. Oh, they get out of jail with that one.
Always love seeing a ball pop out.
And who lays? I can't quite make out who makes it. I think it might have been Gosson Kaniki. And we see actually a flag back down closer to the line of scrimmage. The officials are having a chat about it now. Don't have them mic'd up today, so I'll try to communicate that to you.
Looks like Queensland might want to send them back.
Well,
depending on the penalty.
Yeah, it was a good reception there, and it will be 4th down, but it'll be inside Queensland territory, so... The logical decision, I guess, based on how confident you are in your defense, would be to push him back. It's actually... Whoa.
I just hear punching.
Someone's been ejected, I think. I didn't see who it was, but punching was the term that was been said at the end of the run there. So this won't be on South Australia. This will be march forward. South Australia, in fact, will be getting a 1st down out of this.
Looks like Bruce Taupo.
Be the big defensive tackle. He's punched him, but I would have thought a punch would look to an ejection. He's been sent to the sideline, and it looks like, in fact, well, we'll see if he's still in a jersey in a couple plays, but their big defensive tackle in...
it did look like the referee did.
We'll take a quick look replay now.
So.
Let's pay attention to the middle there. I think we run out of play there and we don't quite see it. But, yeah, no, so it looks like there'll be a man short now. And we were just speaking about penalties and how they killed them last time. Tedmondson forced out of the pocket, goes up and slides. What a veteran slide.
It looks good when a quarterback slides properly. You don't want to see that. No need digging into the ground. Never pretty.
And hang on. Was that an official's timeout? I think they're going to talk about something there. But you're exactly right, and that's also why the maintenance of the fields are really important as well. I've actually seen it too many times. Quarterbacks trying to play it safe, ended up doing more damage taking the slide than they do the.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you never want to let the field be the cause of injury.
It looks like time has been signalled back on. I think they just wanted to clear something off the field. Maybe it was a chain issue. Second down now. South Australia on the attack, trailing by 2 scores at the moment. 20-7. Sam Morton on the inside. I'll speak about him in the moment after this play, but it'll be back to Vola. Oh, Tevinson takes a lick after handing that off, and Goss and Kaniki takes down the big man.
It's been a good drive. They've sustained it. They've had penalties. They're kind of just trying to keep themselves in the game right now. I feel like the South Australian Sharks just need to get down there and put it in the end zone.
Indeed they are. And Sam Morton, who's done a decent job in the slot today. I saw him last year playing as a defensive end.
Oh, wow.
And I was asking his coach if he played that at club level. He says, no, really. His first experience is playing that up at the state level. And they said they want to take advantage of his talents and his size. And best way to do that is the ref tries to avoid getting licked up is through the tight end wide receiver or the slot position for them here at the state level.
I mean, any time you have a versatile player like that, it just means there's so many more options: offense, defense, special teams.
Can't see it on screen. Can't see it on camera. As the Queensland staff is desperately trying to figure out what the situation is with their player. Back on the attack goes Vola. Vola breaks the first tackle, then gets hit hard by Scott Bice.
Sam Metautia in there as well.
We'll get a good shot of that here. Take a look at this on the backside. Boom. Actually, I think... Yeah, no, it is. Oh, no, maybe it was Sam Metautia there. Jeez, the man can hit.
Yeah, it's nice being up here today and not on the field.
Jeez, I felt that. Nonetheless, Sharks keep moving forward. Second and goal now. Short pass. Burton. Oh, incomplete. Burford, I should say, not Burton. And that'll be third and goal. Upcoming.
Got to catch those.
Here's an interesting situation. We've seen them both go to the outside with a pass for third down. They've done that twice here, and then they've also trusted Vola to bust them even when they needed about 4 yards on third down. Let's see what sort of game plan they have for third and goal. Tedmondson in motion. Goes one of the slots. Tedmondson jump pass and caught. Oh, that's one for the highlight reel. Sebastian Burford, he catches his second for the day.
Great catch. It almost looked like a jump pass.
Yeah, it was a Tim Tebow jump pass. He's not exactly a short man, Tedmondson, but utilises all of his athletic ability to get that done. And Burford Goss getting open in a different way this time. Across the field he goes. And
this might be Damien Molloy.
And Damien Molloy injured. He
slow to get up.
He was a bit limited in practice this week actually, and he's a tough son of a gun, I'll tell you that. Not much forces Molloy out, but so when he's out, he really is. He's feeling something. So he's going to walk his way to the sideline now, and in comes Matt Bailey, one of my favourite players to watch. He deservedly earned himself a Queensland call-up this year after the year he had at the Bayside Ravens.
Great athlete. I mean, when we called the Sun Bowl together, he just played a great game, and he deserves to be in this team.
One of the highest motors for his club, and I backed that for his state as well.
He just doesn't stop, does he? He just keeps going.
20-7, or 20-13 at the moment, actually. And the kick is up. The kick is good. 20-14, 6 points only separating these two teams now, as we're probably towards the back end of the second quarter. We'll try to get an official call for you soon regarding time, but we shouldn't be too far away from the 2-minute warning.
I'm just trying to think how Queensland go into this next series. If they go down there, play aggressive, try to get in the end zone, get up by 2 scores, or if they kind of just do what they've been doing these last few series, just keep running it, chip away, get a few yards here and there.
Okay, so just confirming that the defensive tackle, and Bruce Tapau. He's no longer got his kit on, so that was an ejection, as one would believe so if it was penalised for a punch. Immediate ejection.
Undisciplined. I don't think there's ever a need to punch anyone on the football field. You have a helmet on, you have shoulder pads. But
Spoken like a true quarterback, mate.
it is what it is.
And another good kick here, and this is into the wind, but Ta'ala will get an opportunity to return this. This is exciting. This is exciting. He's got the kick and a beat. Flag's thrown. Ta'ala's going to run it anyway. He's got overall in pursuit. Hand in the air, and he crosses the goal line, but I think this is another big Koopy play that will be called back. Oh, and I tell you what, Jamie Owers threw that flag in like he was competing for a flag throw on Olympic spot, and it looks like it'll be holding on Queensland.
He's just so dangerous. He can just read the openings so well, and he just zooms through it. Disappointing that there's a hold.
And this is reminiscence against Queensland Victoria 2 tournaments ago over in Queensland, Western Australia, over in Perth, when Queensland was busting out big plays left, right, and centre with your friend Bert. Last name escapes me.
Bertrand Harris.
Yeah,
yes,
Mr. Bert Harris, who was busting big plays, but Queensland just couldn't help it to get flags thrown on the field, that somehow still managed to win that game. But right now, they're doing themselves a lot of disservice there, wiping points off the board with failure to execute.
Oh, it's so cruel. You pull off a big play like that and you go back another 80 to try to do it again.
Well, their offense has been proving they can get the other dumb open. Man, here goes Bones! Mr. Warwick Russell, wide open, blown coverage. Big play after big play. No flags on this one. And the Sunshine Coast spotting. He'll bring up his first touchdown of the tournament.
Perfect throw. It was fingertips. Bones does a great job.
Oh, Tommy Gorwood, like the pro he is, look at that.
Perfect pass, perfect catch, runs it in.
He was wide open, Coach.
And I think that was just a really good concept. The outside receiver does a route that works his way into the field. Bones just does a wheel route. The defense just gets caught up. So I think it was a perfect play call, but it was also a perfect decision prior to that play call. Like they would have seen something.
And Queensland now done with their 2-point conversions. They're going to try and put this up for a PAT. Reece Perkins only missed one this tournament. Keeps his one miss in the bank. 27-14, the score currently reads.
Yeah, so it looks like they were just having a go at it. They wanted to get some points on the board before going into half-time.
And I'll tell you what, Coach Elwood Rope loves his special teams and loves his conversions. I tell you, at halftime, I can tell you, even if they're leading, he is going to be cussing people out.
I mean, and this is something that we always talk about at club level, but special teams sometimes won't win you games, but it sure as hell will lose you games if you don't get it right. I remember this season, I think the Gold Coast had maybe 4 punt returns on us, which is is crazy. And I mean, John would have coached it really well. I'm hoping
well,
so.
It's a bit of a match made in heaven for the Sun Devils between Coach Rowe and Frankie Passamani. Both of them love their special teams. As we see, I think this is Olsen coming back. Henry Olsen. Oh, look at that. Breaking ankles. And the Swarm eventually gets him. Actually, inside the 20. Good kick coverage there from Queensland. They're doing that right.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Hold the phone. Flag back all the way back here at the kicking side. So
Oh, no.
don't tell me that was an offside. This is fundamental stuff.
Might be a few more words at halftime from John Rowe if it's on Queensland.
Damien Malloy's back on the field. Offside, it is.
Wow, you picked it.
Oh, they're going to re-kick it. That's so much. Queensland backs their. That personifies the Queensland special team attitude. They get them even with 5 yards. That probably allows South Australia to get to the 25, which is still probably fine position defensively, but they want to re-kick this. It's not like they gave up a big return there.
Chasing perfection.
And we got Ryan Glasson practicing some shotgun snaps in front of us. He looks like he'll be taking a lot of the centre duties then for the rest of the game.
That wind's picking up a bit now, so I was just about to bring up if South Australia try chucking a few deep passes, take a shot coming into the end of the half. Or
Perkins, kick again, Olsen on the full. He's already past where they would have been. And look, South Australia after that, they ended up starting at the 30 rather than at the 22. So everything still works out for the Sharks.
a long way to get to the same spot, but we got there.
So I think by our count it's inside the 2 minute area. Did you recall seeing a 2 minute warning?
No, I didn't.
So do apologise again, doing our best to keep this time clock accurate as we can for you. Tedmanson, Vola, they're behind centre at the moment. Here goes Damien. No, it was a play action pass. Beat me. He's got Burford open. He's got Burford open, but the pass overthrown. Burford could have been going for 3.
Oh no.
And oh my lord, Tedmanson must have taken a hit on that play. Just looked back to my left and the man's on the ground and he took a hit. Oh, would have been a real borderline hit there from Nada Togafu, who I'll tell you what, you said earlier, he can lay the lumber. What do you think of that?
A little late for my liking. I'm a quarterback as well, so I might be a little bit biased. And Nada also plays for our team, but I know he's chasing contact.
We're AGL commentators today, mate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I got to say that if I was a ref, I'd probably be tempted to throw the flag there too.
I'd throw it. I think. Did they throw one in that instance?
No, I can't see a flag here at the moment. So all the flags Queensland getting.
And I mean, even in that situation, as a defensive player, you know the quarterback is releasing it. You can kind of preempt that you're not going to make a sack or anything like that in that situation. So it's tricky. The defensive coaches are probably pushing, like, let's get aggressive,
it's hard, isn't it?
attack the ball carrier, but let's not give away penalties or do anything silly.
And this will actually knock Tedmanson out of the game, out of the game for now. And I don't know how deep they go at quarterback at the moment. And obviously he's a key part of running this offense. And going back to it there, like it's hard to not coach your players to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And it's those split decisions there. If you ask me, and hang on, is Andre Benjamin going there? Even if he's not a passer, that's a lot of athleticism.
Oh, I know.
Taking snaps.
Might pull a bit of a Ben Stokes from last week. Do the old offload out the side.
I hear the defensive call immediately. Contain, contain, contain. Because if Benjamin gets to the outside, well, I tell you what, he's going to do more than get a first down for mine. Here he goes again. No secret about what he's going to do. He rips off a 6-yard gain there on his first carry at quarterback.
Yeah, so I think that's also going to change what Francois does on the defense.
I don't think it will here, Tedmanson. It just had to go off just because he went down and was deemed as an injured player. Just had to go off for his one play. Not bad.
That's
Second down, and Benjamin gets them 6 yards and a manageable third down conversion. Good job, Andre Benjamin.
Found out he's a lefty as well.
There you go. Nifty lefty, Tedmanson. He's a right-handed quarterback. Throws over the middle to Vola, who gets his first reception of the day. Desperately trying to hold onto that ball. Calvin Young trying to strip it out. But another conversion. The third down conversion day has been impressive.
A flag as well. I think that was, it was Louis Breeze.
Is it Breeze or Breezy?
I just call him Louis. No, I think it is Louis Breeze.
There we go.
Looks like
and it declined. Obviously, fantastic play call and execution on first down by the head coach Drew Aiken, he's got a lot of experience. He former left tackle in the collegiate system, played for Stanford University back in the day. So
wow.
Smart man, very, very smart man. Great to chat to. We got distracted by the NFL draft way too often yesterday in our pre-game meeting. Tedmanson off to the left. Will this get picked? Yes, it will. Joe Rasmussen knows how to pick that pass off. Gets his first as a Sun Devil.
great play, but I think the ball was.
I think that might be on the quarterback.
Bad location there.
Got to get that to the outside, and we're just getting reminded inside our headsets here, throwing into the wind there as well. So
yeah, that's right.
Difficult pass intended for Benjamin, and that's the first turnover for today.
That was kind of what I was trying to touch on. Is like, do you take the shot trying to get into the end zone and maybe take risky plays like that? Or do you play it safe going to halftime down by what you're at? So. John Rowe getting very animated.
I'm not sure if he's getting animated. I thought it might have been at the referees for a second there. And anyways, a timeout I think called from Queensland there. Hollywood Road animated right now, trying to communicate some personnel issues with his team.
Looks like Ben Stokes is going in as well.
I don't think there's any knock on Gorman. I think Gorman's playing great. I think they're just trying to use the entirety of their playbook.
Do you think we'll see a few of those option plays again? I mean, I didn't realise he was that fast until I was there watching him pulling offloads left, right, centre.
Last year it was his first, he got injured, a knee injury towards the back end of the 2016 season, which probably took him a while to get back to really the full athletic health. You know, it was playable health by the start of the season, but full athletic health towards the back end. So obviously he must be full raring to go. Remember, he started for safety at the outback level. The guy's an athlete.
He is an athlete, and Tommy Corwin does tell me he's just as good at it as quarterback as any other position.
And here we go, James Taylor up the middle again, and methodically moves forward. Let's see how Queensland manages the last couple of minutes here. Again, apologise if we don't have an accurate timing for you, but brings up second. Even a short now.
Is that, yeah.
See if I can get my ear open for a call. Holiday Miller back in the game. It seems like he's had a long stint out here, so John Rowe using the full depth of his running backs at the moment. And this will be one of our option plays that we were talking about. And Holiday Miller skips inside a defender, earns him a first down.
He just keeps fighting.
The thing is, by now, he's usually taken, at club level, probably 10 to 15 carries.
I mean, that's what's so great about this Queensland team. They have so much depth that, I mean, it's going to be hard to get back out there as a running back when you have that sort of depth. Or any position, you know. I'm looking down at the sideline here. I'm seeing a lot of really great players that I saw throughout the season.
All right, first down. Queensland have had no trouble moving the ball offensively. Stokes on his first possession. He's going to look left, extend the play, takes a hit, and that will force that pass incomplete. Fantastic pressure there from the linebacker and Caleb Obedi.
Ben Stokes takes a lick, holds on as long as he can. It was just a smash concept with a 5-yard hitch on the outside and a corner from the inside. He just couldn't get the ball there.
Well, a smash concept. Queensland looked like they're moving to a lot of cover 3 earlier in the game, and South Australia tried to take advantage with similar sort of concepts. Queensland just doing the same.
Yeah.
Second down.
It does look like the Sharks have stuck true to the cover 2.
Two safety look here. Holiday Miller. Look at him, hasn't been touched yet. There we go, dances around overall. He'll be almost untouched to the end zone. Holiday Miller having a fantastic game today. Different back, same result.
It's looking good for Queensland right now. I'm calling a good game.
So if you're a quarterback Queensland, don't have to do a whole lot with the running backs they've got right now, do you?
Oh, I know. It makes their job so much easier when you can run the ball that effectively.
And look at him dancing and weaving through the defence. He literally is untouched for about 12 yards.
It just shows that offensive line's doing their job. You see the receivers down there, downfield blocks.
And flags are being thrown here. Let's see who it's on. It was pre-snap. Play gets called dead. Full start on the Sun Devils, and fortunately for their special team unit, John Rowe's talking to his quarterback, so he didn't see that.
He'll see it on film.
We'll see when he looks back now and realises they're kicking it from 5 yards deeper. South Australia, definitely the more disciplined team this afternoon. Perkins up and good. And there's another 7 points to Queensland. Panicked a bit there as I had to do some maths. 34.
It's always
14.
hard when we get into double digits.
We do realise we haven't been able to change the time for you for a little while now, but waiting for someone to give us an accurate clock. Trying to one of the sideline judges our side, maybe Tim Redshaw or Jamie Owers should be keeping the time. We might try to send someone over to get a check for him. Usually we'd have a spare official in the booth with us, being able to manage that, but we're using our full resources here, and believe it or not, referees have a life outside of Gridiron, so a lot of them are enjoying that today. And Olsen will let this one dribble into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback, and South Australia will try to keep this a one possession lead as they trail 34-14 deep in the second.
It's a beautiful day, though. I mean, if I was a referee and I didn't have anything to do, I'd be soaking it up.
Yeah. But yeah, so far it's been so good. I was driving up from the southern part of Queensland today, and so a bit of rain was chasing me, but it looks like it will pass us here in the north side of Brisbane. 3 minutes. We're here on the clock. 3 minutes. So we probably let that clock run a little earlier, but there we go. 3 minutes. Now, so we'll be within at least 10 seconds of it now, we hope. Here goes, no play action pass, Edmondson, long, Benjamin, it's twice now. They've had a receiver with a step and they haven't been able to lock it in.
Good time to take a shot. I mean, they got to go down there and score. They just haven't hit on the deep connection yet.
And
but, you know, I reckon they're pretty close.
That's exactly right. Now, you just heard me make a fool of myself there, getting fooled by the play action. That shows you how effective their first down running game has been. You know, we're so used to seeing Vollard just take that up the middle, and they should be getting the fruits of that right now.
That's right.
But they haven't been able to complete those passes. This time it will be a gift to Vollard. He's been given some open space. He was untouched for a while as well. What a first down run from Vollard. Jeez, that's a lot of meat carrying that ball. You can see why he's moved to the running back position.
And then, you know, with coaching, it kind of gets into the old flip where it's just like, oh, now they're going to pass on second down, and they pull a run play out.
There you go. Give me a shout out there to number 58, Hugh Stevens, who's a decorated player in his own right. He actually earned the praise of, I think he's playing right tackle today, actually. He earned the praise of his opposing offensive line coach in Bolton there, and Coach Bolton, who said he was a hell of a player. It's Edmondson, they've got to go deep again. One-on-one, Burford. Oh, Burford on Young, and they can't quite get there. They're about 3 yards between them. Burford.
Getting closer, he was open.
He was open, but they're not going to get these opportunities all the time.
Oh, that's right. You can't just keep chucking it up there.
The play calling is brilliant. The lead up to it is brilliant, but that's 3 now, 2 back-to-back. Well, not quite back-to-back, we had the Voller run in between, but South Australia, everything's there but the final piece. This time, no play action. Tedmondson evades the rush, gets a pass deep. Oh, through the fingers now. They're just teasing us with a big play. That one was to Ian Nolte.
So close. The quarterback steps up into the pocket, puts it in a good spot. You know, when they look back at film, they're really going to look at these few plays, and yeah, I mean, you got to connect on those.
I'll tell you what, I've been harping on talking about how South Australia, they're missing pieces on the line, on both sides of the line. This offensive line's been doing fantastic today, especially they've improved over the last 2 weeks tremendously. Right now, Edmondson hasn't had to face that much of a rush. Sure, he's been hit a couple times, but intercept here, Tommy Trevina. Trevina, he's got a convoy. He's got to go. Tommy Trevina in for the goal line. Touchdown, Sun Devils.
Flag on the play, unfortunately.
Flag on the play. Another big play. That's
so it was offside.
Possibly going to be called back, and of course, we do forget they managed to get them offside. That's probably why. Yeah, It was, I think, Sam Matautia jumping offside, and that's probably why Tebbenson decided to chance his hand downfield.
Just tried preempting that hard count, and he just didn't get it right this time.
They're opening 2 drives. They used hard count the entire time. They pinched them off one side. They had them jumping for the rest of it. They're using the full bag of tricks here against this Queensland defence today.
That's right. If you're taking on the national champions, you got to bring your A game.
And look, their worst enemy has been themselves, South Australia.
That's right.
And Tebbenson's just got to find a way to take a little bit off these balls.
Just a little bit, and you probably got a touchdown.
I know the wind's
right
playing crazy, so I do empathise with the quarterbacks out there today. But geez,
mix it up. Try, take those deep shots, but it doesn't always have to be a go route. It could be a post, or it could be, a 10-yard out, or.
Well, it looks like they'll go deep again. The deep drop over the middle. Oh. Here we go. He's fought for it. And broken a tackle, and there we go. There's a mix-up. They went with the deep in there. The pass completed to Reece Smith from the Southern District Oilers. He gets up and he fights for the ball there.
Great catch.
Look at that. He had to go over there and fight. And Calvin Young, he's having a busy day today. A very respected DB. But in our pre-game chat, Coach Aiken said, we respect these DBs, but I trust my receivers to go up and compete. So that's been the story of the day. Volar met behind there. Ryan Newton, the one-tack. Volar tried to pitch that back.
Thought he was going to pull the Ben Stokes offload. I think the coaches would be pretty happy he didn't pass that.
And we're surely close to the 2-minute warning. This could be it right now. In fact, it is. How about that for timing? 2-minute warning, says the White Hat, and Sean Dove, another one of the experienced referees going around. But the tackle made there by the Stingrays connection of Ryan Newton and number 64 and Adam Vernon.
A stack set, both sides.
Yeah, here we go. Haven't seen this formation yet today. Tedmonson, play action pass, slings it. One-on-one ball, bro. Joe Rasmussen looking like Darrell Revis out there. How about that? Getting up and playing that perfectly. Want to learn how to play man coverage? There you go. You can chuck that on his highlight reel. That was perfectly covered there by the young man.
Yeah, that pass play they did connect on was a smash concept. But I think they still need to mix up, have a bit of diversity in these passing concepts.
Here we go. Stacked all the way to the right. Got the receivers. Oh, Statue of Liberty! We've gone to New York. Voila! Gets up the middle on 3rd down and long. They tried to go with the Statue of Liberty play. I tell you what, it was sold pretty well, but not well enough. Queensland.
That's right.
And they really keep that to a minimal gain. 4th down. Let's see if they send out the field goal kicking unit. It doesn't look like that'll be the case. It looks like they will take, and Queensland will take a timeout here. And we'll see if South Australia will take a shot. Speaking of shots, big shout out to the photographer today, Touchdown Photography. Doing a fantastic job. If you've been watching all the photos being posted to getting on the Facebook page for the AGL and then the Queensland pages.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah,
she's always down there getting some amazing photos. I mean, it's not just iPhone photos, she
knows what she's doing.
Bit of depth of field, probably using f-stop, aperture.
And there's her partner, actually, Aaron, who's stepped in as the cameraman there. We desperately needed him last week. He answered the call, and he's doing a fantastic job. All those close-ups, he getting sideline. That's there's his work right there. Big shout out to Aaron. Thank you.
Still playing as well. He did a bit of quarterback this year for the Raptors. He was pretty good.
He was playing in Victoria. Both him and his partner moved up from Victoria. They know the Gridiron communities from last week. And there's Jack Capewell there, and Ninja Sun Devil there. He's one of the promising guys. We'll talk more about him a little later, though, as South Australia try to line up for a looks like, by my count, about a 16-yard field goal. And almost blocked, but it's up, and it is Gouda. Another 3 points added to the score, 34-17.
Yeah, that's a good result for the Sharks. Getting a few points at the back end of this second quarter, so it's still pretty tight in my mind. These guys have come to play.
And 30 for 17, still a manageable scoreline for him, but did they leave a bit too much time on the clock there for Queensland? We've shown the Queensland don't need much time, and they certainly don't care how many yards they need to get. They can score, and they can score fast.
Oh, that's right.
Now wait for it, guys. Wait for it.
So I think Ben Stokes will probably come out again, just taking a rough stab, but...
Well, approximately 1:31 remaining on our clock. We'll be thereabouts. Kupita-Ala will get a chance to return this. And he's got blocks on the right-hand side. His flag's already down, so I'm not going to get that excited. And he takes us back to the 50, save for the two flags that are back down around the 20-yard line.
Yeah, flags everywhere, so...
Let's see if we can spot. I see one block in the back. Matthew Bailey, sorry to call you out on stream there, buddy. And possibly one more down the track.
Yeah, there's been a lot of great plays on special teams, and I think, yeah, John is going to be busy this week reviewing that.
He's coached special teams plenty of times before.
Well, here you go. Very little urgency coming out. Yeah, the very first two plays, we had urgency as soon as we got the fucking outside.
Tell you what, we'll probably be looking back over Nicky D'Angelo worked in touchdown photography to pinpoint some of these penalties.
Ben Stokes in again, 5 receiver set.
Kupita-Ala in motion. Now with the ball off to the right-hand side. He will explore and taken down. And he's fumbled the ball. South Australia recover. South Australia will get an opportunity here to score before the half. Well, it's a blemish on his fantastic game so far, and he is awfully close to the ground, but I think that's probably fair to say that ball was coming out.
Yeah, I agree.
And him probably stretching out there, lacking a bit of ball security towards the back end of his run.
This puts South Australia in a really good spot.
Absolutely, and look, if they play the cards right, they should be coming out of this with no less than 3 points.
That's right. You got to go home with some points when you're in the red zone.
So you've played quarterback, you've called offenses before. Is this scenario here, are they close enough now to be considering touchdown, or you're either looking at touchdown or out of bounds?
Yeah.
Or throwaway, I should say?
Yeah, I'd be taking a shot early.
Well, they're going to kill some clock first. Vola taken down by a great tackle there from Goss and Kaniki.
It is always an interesting situation because the tighter you get into the end zone, the less space you have to work with. So it looks, they started out with run. It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
Well, they want to leave minimal time on the clock as they do this. I'd love to be scoring with no time left. To try a bit of trickery there, and well, Ryan Newton, Jason Leon, they crushed the young man for his troubles. That was Jeremy Rennie getting his first touch of the day. James Rennie, my apologies. Another one of those junior South Australian Sharks moving up to big boy football.
Well, it's really good to see, those kids stepping up into the senior divisions all over Australia. You need to keep that growth happening, allow them to develop from juniors into seniors, and then it shows in what we get to watch here.
Well, if we want to see this game grow, it all goes grassroots, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And,
that's right.
But also having great state programs like all the states are doing right now, and I think I believe we're in a pretty good point of representative football right now, as we are approximately around 30 seconds away from halftime. Having good state programs like this gives them something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And just shows the strength with all the national the state teams having a good growth of their junior Nats plays in there. Shows they're doing a pretty decent job. And the first sack of the day comes from Sam Metaltia.
Yeah, exactly. Not what to do
when you are trying to stay in field goal range.
Yes.
Negative plays are a no-no.
Like, based off that last field goal, though, it looks like he'd still have the distance from here. I mean, he put it through pretty nicely. So
that's probably the first time today we've seen that this offensive line get overpowered. I believe there was a timeout called towards the back end of that. 4th down now, and they're going to have to attempt a much longer field goal. This ball is at about the 29, by my guesstimation, maybe the 28.
Yep. It's like 29, yeah.
For a NFL kicker, that's a gimme.
You have that cross breeze coming across, so and it is picking up as we speak.
Yeah, I was about to say, poor timing. If you want, you might want to call a second time out there if you could.
Well, it looks like they're going for it.
Under 30 remaining, clock stopped. Oh, nope, they've called it. They've had a chat about it. They don't want to go for a field goal. They say, bugger this, let's go for it. Temminson steps up in the pocket, lets it fly, picks off for the second time today. Joe Rasmussen locking down that right side.
Great play. He's been having a cracker of a game.
Well, I know, situation dictates you break certain rules, but generally you want to throw that go route. You want your receiver to be in line or beating the corner there. Joe Rasmussen was pretty much sitting at the 5.
Oh, he was over the top of the defender the whole time. It's the incorrect read in that situation. And it comes back, there needs to be some diversity in the offensive play calls to mix it up so these DBs aren't just sitting back there waiting.
Well, here goes Stokes. Stokes will take a chance throwing now. He's got Bessie. Open and gone. 10, 5, touchdown missile, Bessie. And big play, Bessie gets it done. I'm scanning the field for flags. No laundry. The laundry's done today. Or at least for that drive. This play will stand. And the worst possible scenario for the South Australian Sharks, they give up an opportunity to add points. And in turn, Queensland make them pay with a long one-play drive before the half ends.
It really went from possibly good situation to very bad situation for South Australia.
40 points now in one half. 40 points to 17 the current score is. It looks like they'll stack in for another 2-point attempt. Haven't been super successful today with it.
If I don't read the card, I'm going to lose. If I don't go to the floor, I'm going to lose. If I don't read.
Might see a similar play to last week where Tommy just went straight to the right.
Nope. Oh, with a late handoff there. Holiday Miller dances his way in for 2. That's their second 2-point conversion of the day.
Really good design of that play. I mean, the offensive line do the really hard yards, really selling that pass and then pushing forward. But it's the quarterback and running back that really sell it. So.
And not a bad outing for this offense. 42 points in the first half. Hard to be mad with that.
Yeah, if you get 42 and a half, you're going to be happy.
This game was, well, it really was a contest, and Queensland have probably just been the one to capitalise more on their big plays. South Australia land 1 or 2 of those deep passes. We're talking about probably closer to a 40-30 scoreline.
Yeah, and you're right. But you just look at all those flags on both sides. This game could be a lot different. So,
I'm seeing a lot of people tuning in for the live stream. Big hello to you all the way across the states. I'm glad that we can have everyone tuning into each game today, with the games going back to back, and not forcing you to make the decision. As Olsen here, he's returned a lot today. Here he goes again. Can he make something happen? Dances backwards and will be taken down inside the 20. Kick coverage Queensland strong again on that particular play, and well, let's see how South Australia want to handle this. Will they try to air it out, or will they just try to take this into the half?
Based off my timekeeping, we're about 6.1, so
I back you,
I reckon
mate.
you just got to nail this out. Have a rethink about what you're doing the second half.
Mike Crawley, he's tuning in. He loves watching over the stream. Big hello to you, buddy. Alyssa Monera tuning in as well. Her husband, Coach Monera, Paul Monera, he's here somewhere. I saw him earlier. He's out scouting, no doubt, along with Ben Walker. And there's the knee. So South Australia will just knee this out, and we'll go to halftime. And we'll wait for the... And there is the ball raise. We are at halftime here at Everton Rugby Club for week 3 of the AGL. The current score 42-17. The Queensland Sun Devils well ahead at the moment. We're going to take a short break and we'll get back to you in a couple of minutes to wrap up the first half action and bring us into the second. Kenny Andres, we've got Mike Jones and Tribal Sport, the preferred clothing sponsor for Gridiron Queensland, back soon. All right, welcome to Everton Park Rugby here on the north side of Brisbane, where the Queensland Sun Devils, their campaign's looking strong so far. They're into their second game and they currently lead the South Australian Sharks 42 points to 17, a 25-point spread at the moment. Queensland firmly in control. Now, just to give you an update here, both coaches and the officials have agreed that the game will be the second half will be played with 8-minute quarters. Regulation timing until at least a 35-point spread comes, but both coaches and the officials have agreed to go to 8-minute quarters.
Huh?
So the game will be shortened for the second half. And wasn't given an exact reasoning, but apparently the South Australian coaching staff are more than happy with that, or might have even suggested it. And here we go, second half underway with a touchback. As a commentator, I always get really excited for the kickoff to go, and then it's a touchback, and it really winds me back down.
Yeah, it's not like State of Origin. You know, that first kickoff is biggest moment of the game almost.
And yeah, shout out to everyone. I see New South Wales, the Raiders Gridiron Club down south, they're tuning in. Hello to you guys, and obviously former Queensland Sun Devils quarterback Jared Stegman's tuning in from Japan. Was he in the Super Dries or something?
Yeah, Asahi Super Dries, I think.
Super Dries.
They all have funny names over there, but I mean, it's massive for them.
Oh, big sponsorship names, isn't it? Here we are, second half action. Sharks, first chance with the ball. Someone's trying to call me. I'm on air. Don't call me right now. Here goes the interior running game again. And if it's Channel 9, I'll call you back. Second down now.
Well, I thought the Sharks came out and showed that they can keep up with Queensland. They just haven't been able to connect on a few big plays.
I just think about that about two drives there, where they had about 3 to 4 different passes.
Yeah.
Where they had Seb and Andre Benjamin deep and behind coverage, and they couldn't connect. And nonetheless, I'm glad they've stuck to the run here on first down. They did that really well in the first half. Third down now. Another down. Another thing they've done well is convert well on third down. They did kind of dive for a bit in the second half, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Quarter.
I mean, I keep harping on about it, but they got to mix it up in the passing game between short, intermediate, and long. It can't just be long and then chucking a few runs. So they need to find a way to get a few different people the ball.
Here we go. 2 receivers to the left, and that's the way that he goes. And there's some short passing game for you, mate. Unfortunately, not enough for a first down. Actually, incomplete, in fact. The pass there to Rennie.
And the receiver did look a little short there of the first down as well. So even if he did pull it in, he was still going to be short.
And more, I think about what you're saying there about that. And whilst they've had success in the passing game, it has been more in the long game, hasn't it? And just forcing these DBs to be a little more honest. That being said, we've seen some clutch passes in that intermediate range. I think about that pass in the middle. I think it was to Reece Smith, where he rustled off a couple of Queensland receivers.
That's right.
Seb Burford, the drag over the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, so they do have the opportunity to do these things, and they can do it. So.
All right. That punt is down, but guess what? Flag on special teams. It's been obviously the chef's special today.
Yeah, it just keeps coming.
Oh, another old coach of yours, Lemon Powell's tuning in as well.
Yeah. G'day, Lenny. How you going?
And a couple other guys, Darren Andrews. Frank Crawley's been a madman at probably about 3 a.m. over in Canada somewhere.
So we'll see what...
Apparently in Sydney, according to Alyssa Monera, it is abysmal compared to the weather we have out here, and it'll be like that for at least the rest of this game, methinks. But my drive home mightn't be as pretty. There's some ominous clouds lingering over where I'm going to be driving home. So, speaking about ominous, here comes back Tommy Corwin and this Sun Devil offense that has been nothing short of formidable in this first half.
If I know Tommy, and I do pretty well, I reckon he'd be feeling him trying to take a shot pretty early in this half. So, and probably keep a lookout for something like that.
The Sun Devils haven't the Sun Devils haven't lost anything with either quarterback, have they?
Yeah, that's right. They're both great athletes. So
Corwin looking deep. He's going to go to the drag under the middle, though. Full progression. Flags down back at the quarterback. Could have been a late hit. Not sure. Could have been a hold. Mitch Bessie there picks up his second catch of the day.
and that just looked like the drag concept. Two receivers coming across the middle of the field, just really short stuff, and the other receivers push it deep to open up that space. So it worked perfectly.
All right, and then it's a flag on South Australia this time. That's a bit of a change-up, and that will give Queensland a bit of a march, but also just to fill you in on why the South Australian side, well, why we are playing 8-minute quarters for the rest of the game. South Australia, whilst holistically have got pretty strong numbers, they are desperately running low on linemen. They already had multiple injuries on their lineman front leading into this game. You had people having to change position to fill into linemen, so apparently a few more of those happened in that first quarter, and they've just kind of been forced to make that suggestion, and Coach Hollywood Rowe, he obliged.
Yeah, it's quite tough, isn't it, for them? And like, as you said, the AFL background in South Australia.
Hang on, Corwin's under pressure. The Sharks, chomp. They take Corwin down. Their first sack of the day for this defense.
And he was trying to buy time there, and he did a good job. He just couldn't find a receiver downfield.
I believe that's what we in the business call a coverage sack. And we'll get one more look here. I want to give credit to who got in there. I think it was it number one? The initial contact there is by Ross Rayach, from South City Chiefs defensive end, but then I think his backside defensive end came in to finish the job. Well done by the Sharks defense. Second and long.
Tight formation.
Yeah, how about this? A little bit of bunch. Tommy Corwin, deep drop. He'll throw to Holiday Miller in the flat. He'll look who's in front of him, make the first man miss, dances around the defensive lineman and shakes off another defender and takes that back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a much more manageable third down now, but we still have got a whiles to go here.
Smart play call, and it was just that mesh concept again, the receivers coming across 2-3 yards deep, both finding space underneath.
And an injury down now. Is that a Raven helmet? It wasn't Holiday Miller, and the running back, was it? No, it's one of the linemen. It might be
Sinapati. I think it is.
Yeah, it's the interior guard, Carlos Sinapati. Actually got the start today, I believe. Got into the starting lineup I got from the Sun Devils camp, and he's not moving. He's having trouble with that leg, but it looks like he'll be helped up. Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
Well, we saw a horrific injury to the offensive lineman last week to the Victorian Eagles. Our thoughts with him. Hope he came back. It was just a clean break apparently, so sad to say his tournament was over, but we do hope that it's a speedy recovery for him, for any of the Victorians watching in.
Oh, you see stuff like that, it's just scary, isn't it? But I agree. Hopefully he makes a really good recovery and keeps playing this lovely game.
Yeah, great bloke. And part of the Sinapati clan that's donned the Sudden Devil uniform many a times. Elijah's probably watching in as well. His little brother's playing today, and Jamal.
Looks like he's done a bit of damage with that helmet.
Yeah, he does. Lineman helmets, right? If you don't have them, don't have your war scars. And then also the Ben Sinapati, his cousin, the long-time serving president for GQ. He steps down this year. He's still on the committee, however. He's here somewhere, taking it easy probably.
Yeah.
Here we are, 3rd and 10. Holiday Miller's back in for his starting carries. 3 receivers out to the left. Bones in for a screen, but they're going to go long pass here to Garrett. And what an athletic grab to Kyle Bopet. My apologies.
Great throw, great catch.
And, well, he's made a lot of those, hasn't he, in his time?
And it was a 3-by-1 formation with just the 2 outside receivers running slants and a corner from the inside receivers. It just works perfectly. Defense can't cover it.
Queensland offensive line doing a much better job there. Tommy Corwin could have made a cup of tea back there. Twice now he's been able to go through his full progression and then some. And that same formation, this time it's flipped. He'll look to that side this time. Over the middle, he'll go to Bopet again. Bopet lowers the lumber and will fall just short over the goal line. Let's see if another one of these Queensland running backs can add to the score sheet.
I think that's one of Tommy's greatest attributes, that really quick release. He can hit those really quick, short timing routes super quick and still also hit those long routes when he has to go through his progressions. So super valuable having someone like him out there running the offense.
Brings in a lot of experience, doesn't he? But what did he remember? What college he played for?
Missouri, someone.
Yeah, one of the east or west or regional Missouri teams. Here we go. Tommy Coleman's going to go with himself. He goes, I'm not. Ben Stokes isn't the only option quarterback. I can get it done too. He gets a second rushing touchdown of the tournament.
Good little design. Blocking just blocks down, opens it up. Tommy just waltzes in.
And 48 points now. If they go for the 2-point here, which doesn't look like they do, Reese Perkins is out to kick a PAT. That would have brought up the 50 burger. And Reese Perkins became a dad last off season. He puts it up. I'm hearing the claps. Puts it through. 49-17 now. Sun Devils still in control.
Starting to blow out a bit here.
Well, it will move to, while we've already got shortened quarters, it will move to running clock as well once we hit the 35-point spread. So right now, with the scoreline of 49-17, we're not quite there. 32 points is the spread as right now. A field goal or a touchdown will push that into a running clock, and we'll be out of here a little bit earlier.
I know that, like numbers play a large role, and, offensive line have to have a set number, but do you think that's kind of played into South Australia? They only have a set amount of numbers in the offensive line range.
Well, people like to give the referees a bad rap, but I'd like to think that the officials would be good enough to say, hey, listen, we understand the circumstances, we'll let you play out of position. Maybe have guys, who don't want to play in the line, or just have not enough experience, and it just lead to injuries to some of your skill positions, your quarterback in particular. So
I like to think that too.
Flags on special teams, more of it. Keep it going. Keep it going, son.
Oh, they're going to have fun reviewing all of this. So
the ball went dead. What flags are you getting on a touchback? It could have been on South Australia, to be fair. Too busy talking about linemen. And it doesn't look like it was offside, but the flags were late. So let's see if there was a block on the backs as the ball's pursuing. And oh no, it's out of bounds. There you go. Kick out of bounds. Kicker getting on the penalty sheet. So with that, South Australia, the Sharks, they get to start on the 30. They went up to re-kick. Over the middle. Oh, tried to go for the one-handed grab. Did the inside receiver and Ben Martin, but the ball falls incomplete.
Nada Togafua coming across.
You have to be a brave man to go over the middle sometimes, don't you? He's going to hear footsteps for the rest of the quarter now.
I think he might go have a chat to his quarterback about that one.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you got to try and protect your receivers. But I understand it's a tough job, but these guys are putting their neck on the line when they go into the middle. Here we go, second down. First pass was incomplete. Let's see if they go there the second down. Yes, they will. It'll be a short pass out to the left, and Gosson Kaniki
great tackle.
Brings out the Clippers, and grass cuts a little bit. And as we see a play there from Gosson Kaniki with a pass to Brett Rees-Smith, I was speaking to Drew Aiken, and he was asking him about the Queensland defense and what he sees, and he mentioned one name. He goes, that number 24. I understand they've got great corners, but one guy I'm worried about is him making plays. He says he's like a magnet to the ball carrier. He'll come flying
just
in.
iron it off all the time.
Comes in at 100. He's like a cannonball. Comes in 100 miles an hour. He said he can do some serious damage, and that's what he's doing today. Tedmonson was under pressure. Louis Barisi flags are down late in the play. Sam Matautia, Nada Togafu, they're around the quarterback. Was it a late hit? Yep, late hit. Nada Togafu. I think he acknowledged that as well. He came up and apologized to Tedmonson there, but it's the second time he's been in that dubious spot of hitting the quarterback. But
that was a weird one. I reckon that was a
I'd say that's probably okay.
Yeah.
But the other one wasn't.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bit them just doing a bit of balancing.
Yeah.
Oh man, the referees, they gave me a compliment aside a game, appreciating me not roasting them in the streams I work with them. And here I am discussed about there. There we go. There's a bridge I've possibly burnt. Sean Dove, love you, mate. We'll have a beer later. Deep drop, Tedmonson, but he's going to use this to set up a bit of a swing. Oh, a big hit there. Who was that? And they're going to... fumble argument was number 27, Adoniel Thompson, the defensive end/tackle from the Ravens.
Big contact there. He's a big boy too. He'll do some damage out there.
Well, you see, he steps in from Goss and Kaneki. Only do they get lit up from Adoniel Thompson. It's pick your poison right now, isn't it? Neil Thompson, he's a versatile player. Right now, he was playing on the defensive end. I've seen him play defensive tackle. He did that at Sun Bowl. Started off at linebacker.
Yeah, yep.
He got in for a sack last week, but unfortunately, a horse collar tackle turned that into a penalty. Short pass to Reese Martin. Reese Martin gets a nice cutback. And look at him bowling over Damien Malloy, and that'll be a first down. And, geez, all the Sydney watchers were crediting the weather here. It just got a significant drop in temperature as this breeze comes hard across field right into the camera. And these clouds start to look a little mopey.
It is looking a bit mopey.
I'm actually kind of glad we moved to shorter quarters now. And you can't see us on camera, but we are exposed, to say the least, to the elements with a lot of expensive equipment.
We're going to get wet.
Here goes Tedmonton. Nice drop. Nice throw. And that's the number 81, Caleb Hayes. Picks up a catcher there.
And they're mixing it up a bit here.
Oh, here we go. On camera. It's more cameras there. Aaron's got us on footage. Just showing that, if it rains, we're in trouble.
Commentator's curse. You tell Alyssa that, we have this beautiful weather, and then away we go. So.
Also have never won $3 million in my life. So I'd love that to happen. Tedmonton looking over the defense, sends someone in motion. And it'll be a little misdirection because they get it back inside to Hamish Lee Robbins, who's moving to running back now. They're sort of exploring all their different options. And what's interesting, Andre Benjamin, the deep threat for them from the South City Chiefs, he hasn't been on since he took a carry at quarterback. So I don't know if there's injury there, if they're just trying to give some of their 2s, 3s, and 4s a bit of a chance in the rotation.
Yeah. I'm just looking on the sideline though. I can't see him. Oh, there he is. He's still suited up and ready to go.
Maybe the chance for them to just test their depth. Tedmonton naked in the backfield. 3 receivers out to the right. They're bunched up. It is
man coverage.
Right hand hash. He's got to run. He's running for his life. Throws over the middle. 1-on-1 coverage. Oh, and Malloy. He gets that one out of way. The pass.
A perfect throw. A perfect throw.
Well, there's only so much you can do when you're running back like that. Not a Togefu in his face again.
It's man coverage, and you have to realise that straight away. You got to find someone real quick because they're coming for you. So actually did well to buy time and then put his receiver in a position to make a play.
Here we go. 4th and short. Interesting to note that Vola hasn't been in this game so far on this drive, where they could really use him with the short data situation here. Queensland compressing the line. What a jump on the snap by Togefu. I can't see. No, flags, yep. Flags are down. Jump is too good to be true.
They're in man coverage, and they played that perfectly with the hard count. They knew the Queensland defense were going to be coming hard. They get them to jump and then take a shot.
So that will gift them the first down, I believe. A few other people jumping in for a watch now. Samuel Harkness is on there, so quite possibly some of the Hawaii coaching staff is on there. I know he's doing a coaching course over in the University of Hawaii, so aloha to any of the Hawaii members who might be tuning in. Appreciate your company, as do I do for the rest of the company around the globe and the state and the countries, as the short pass out to the left produces a couple yards, and that's not a bad little first down play there.
Second and about 5. Yep.
Reece Smith, he's been a strong contributor today.
I think that's it. You just got to keep ticking away at it, taking those yardage opportunities, take what the defense is going to give you, and then take your shots when you're feeling it.
That's the end of the quarter. So just a reminder, end of the third quarter there. Reminder, we are playing 8-minute quarters right now, and agreed upon change by both of the head coaches. So 49-17, just shy of that 35-point margin. Though South Australia knocking on the door of keeping that out of action if they score here.
I think they're doing okay. They haven't given up. I mean, they flew a long way and they're going to play football. They're still doing it. It's just blowing out a little bit here. But I mean, it's a good opportunity to have a play with some of the depth they have, or maybe there's a few plays they want to try incorporate without showing, other teams what they're doing. They got to make the most of it. Kind of like what John Rowe said, every game's a grand final. I mean, it's a really good approach. They got to go out there, put everything into it.
As we come into the fourth quarter, Kenny Andres, Mike Jones calling the action for you. Big shout out as well to last week's commentators over in South Australia, Phil Hurden, and I think it was Dave there. I don't have quite the sultry European voice to match that, but I hope I'm doing a decent job bringing you the action today along with Mike here. And but yeah, that was a really good call by those gentlemen there. Really enjoyed watching that. I'm sure as everyone else did.
It'd be good on radio, wouldn't he? He's got a perfect voice for it.
Yeah. And another run up the middle there. That one staunchly defended by the Queensland Sun Devils, and into the action now is number 58, Pete Mariani, one of the Moreton Bay Raptors. He recovered a fumble last week. He's the lone representative from the Raptors this year, so shout out Raptors. Of course, they've had representatives before. Ben Goff represented him when he was a Moreton Bay Raptor, and they also had Carlos Sinapati, who was representing them as well as a Raptor. And a pass out to the right. Flags are down though on the coverage. There was number 38,
29.
Or 28. Might have been Garrett.
I think it was William Mahi.
Oh, yeah, William Mahi.
I think
Nope, and that'll be a penalty on Queensland, and that'll be an automatic first down. I think it might have been
defensive holding.
Defensive holding at the snap there. The press got a little too physical.
It looked fair and clean to me, though. I mean, like, the receivers in front of him, you're allowed to make contact within the, the shoulders kind of thing. So
similar sort of holding rules apply, though. If the receiver does a good job getting past you, then you gotta let him go.
It's tricky, though. It's a screen play, and he's coming back to the ball, and William just kept pushing him. So tricky one. Indeed.
Into the party, cruising for a bruising in front of the commentary box. First and goal. A rollout pass from Tedmanson, looking for the corner. Oh! Give him that! No. Give him that! Come on! That was a great catch. I think he didn't quite secure it in until his feet were out of bounds, but nonetheless, an athletic display there.
Second effort, third effort.
Well, you only need 1 foot in there, but they're just deeming he didn't have control there. That was Ben Martin.
Great throw.
Only he didn't have control there really until he hit the ground. So yeah, ultimately a good call there from the line judge. I think that's Richard Prater over there. Tedmanson again, this time on second down. Looking to his left this time, over the middle! Through the hands! This time, Tedmanson does a great job and the receiver lets him down. That pass was
just a quick slant.
Stephen Draper.
Hits the hands, he's open, everything's right.
He's signed from one of the other uni clubs, the Uni SA Eagles. Oh, look, it is the OG gangster himself, former president, Ben Sinapati, who has no idea he's on stream. Can't wait for him to watch this back. Third down. Tedmanson up the middle he goes, and stuffed on third down, that time taking a carry.
Louis Breeze.
Ian Nolte, who's been playing everywhere today. Slot, wide, now he is a running back, probably been on defense. No doubt he's been on special teams. Fourth down now, South Australia wanting to push this in. They've been pretty decent. Last time they came into a situation like this, it was the jump pass to Seb Burford.
Let's see if we see something similar. This Queensland sideline's getting amped up.
Well, a proud sideline they are. Tedmanson, Nolte with him. Two receivers out to his right. That's the way he'll look and throw. And that's got to be PI, and it will be. It's William Mahe's second penalty on this drive. That's a fair call, though.
Oh, I think that's fair. He was all over him. Their hands everywhere.
Yeah, you don't see it on there, but before that, he was.
Might see it on
like
this view here, actually. Oh, no.
Looked like an overly attached girlfriend the way he was holding on to him. That'll be half distance and a fresh set of downs.
Do you just try pound it up there?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, they are missing their starting backs, it appears, but Nolte seems like a veteran himself. But the veteran himself will get met in the back by, again, Louis Barisi.
Louis Barisi has been making a few plays here, just really sealing it up, filling those gaps. And he's an aggressive guy out there. Like he's going for contact.
Yeah, if memory serves correctly, he hasn't been playing the game for that long. Was last year maybe his first season, second season?
Yeah, I think this season was his second season. I mean, when I look at him, he's a pure athlete, one of the best athletes I've ever coached or seen.
Rugby league background from
rugby. He used to play for East Tigers.
Yeah, I thought so. He was one of the Intra Super Cup players.
Yeah, so I think he's loving Gridiron and he's loving the environment in the Queensland Sun Devils team. So he's learning a lot from what he's told me.
Well, the community's happy to have him. The jump pass again picked off. Not a Togafu. Can he go all the way? Looking like James Harrison. Flags it down. Here he goes. The Templeton to beat. Puts a step on him. Looks to offload it. Oh, switch spots. Ryan Newton has the ball. DT's with the ball. I love it. I love it. Oh, and his teammates love it too. Flags are down though, so
whistles going off everywhere.
Whether that gets counted to his stats because it was after the flag was thrown is another story. Look at him go. His teammates are going to give him hell for not being able to take that to distance.
Louis Barisi down there looking for someone to block.
Great Jason. Look at Ryan. He doesn't know what to do with it. Oh, I love it. I love One Tex getting football. Where's his goal line package?
That's the amazing thing about guys like Nada, Louis, Sam. They all have that, like, I guess they're all just so willing to give stuff a go. Like, you look back, if it doesn't work, you're going to give it.
If he was going to look
to
for someone, he probably should have given it to Louis. He looked like a centre coming back from his winger there.
Hit him on the inside ball.
Here goes. Tommy Corwin's back in the game. Holiday Miller too. And Holiday Miller probably on his shortest run of the day. The only time he's been stuffed. Gets tackled there on first down for a 1 yard gain.
It looks like they're sending in two backs, so I'd be expecting a run play here.
Looks like that flag might have actually been on SA because they haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Queensland certainly weren't negated from where they finished with the ball, so.
By the way, hey, we need to keep going here. Hey, we can't be in that hole like that.
To show the intensity of Queensland, Frankie Bassamon is just in front of us at the commentary box, and he is given a full spray to his defense there, even after they just got the ball back, and a timeout now to Queensland.
It doesn't stop, even if you're up 32. He's always going to be pushing you hard, chasing perfection.
I don't think you'd mind me saying this, Frankie, but he's one of those players that if you play against him, you're going to hate him.
Yeah.
You're going to hate him with a passion, possibly. But the moment you're playing for him and you realise how much he cares about you and how much he wants you to get better, your opinion of him changes pretty quickly.
Oh, I agree 100%. When I'm on the field, I always try to stir him up a little bit, and he's always going to take the bait a little bit, but, you know, I respect him a lot off the field. I respect him on the field, even though I'm there trying to stir him up. He's just so knowledgeable. He's willing to share everything he knows to allow everyone to be the best player they can be.
You stirring people up on the field, Mike Jones? Never.
Just a little bit of fun and games, you know.
Yeah, between you and that twin brother of yours. Also, someone actually just reminded me, someone says a quick happy birthday to Chewy. I'm not sure if that's a nickname for Damien Malloy or not, but I also know it's Damien Malloy's birthday today, so shout out to the crazy man wearing number 6. So, and to Chewy, if that in fact is someone on the SA squad. Ben Goff now, he's back in the game. He's looking for blocks, and he'll get taken down, and a good tackle there by Trent Hoey, the free safety from the Southern District Oilers.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do. First down, I reckon you've got to take a shot. I think mix it up a bit, but we'll see.
Chris Ravlich is also tuned into the stream there, the now New South Wales tight end. I saw him take a couple of catches against this unit last week. He's obviously doing a bit of scouting before his game against WA. A big shout out to Chris Ravlich. I hope you're staying away from those donuts, mate. 49-17. And a flag's been thrown. Delay a game against Queensland. Tommy Corwin, the astute professional he is going to hate that.
He's not happy. Tommy's been very positive about the environment, everything he says. So I think, I'm hoping he's passing on some of his knowledge to some of the other guys around the other clubs in Queensland as well.
I don't doubt that for it all. Here we are. Taniwa finally registers his first catch as a Sun Devil. A quick slant on the backside.
Yeah, he's raw, but he still gets in the right spots, and he makes a catch. That's where you start out, and then you just keep refining, keep developing, get better.
Nothing like a confidence booster. Then a quick grab and a slant, and big shout out to Jackie Viguera as well. I'm assuming a partner or a relative of Brad. Strong safety.
And those quick slants from Tommy coming pretty hot too. So.
And here goes James Taylor. Maybe quite the second half, but rumbles forward for a touchdown. James Taylor, the fourth back to register a touchdown today for Queensland.
Looks like they're going for one.
Well, the thing is though, whilst points for and against do matter, the maximum points you can actually get is it's capped as far as additions to your for and against there. 35 points is the most points that you'll get credited for offensive points.
Wow.
In this game there. So it's that balance of rewarding good offensive play in a round robin tournament like it is, whilst also not encouraging to run up scores and blowouts. So.
Yeah.
And Reese Perkins still has only missed the one kick. Yeah, it's another 56 points now for Queensland, and I think that'll also bring up the running clock here for the rest of this fourth quarter, which is almost academic. We haven't got a whole lot left. 3:30 by our approximate count on screen. 56-17 now, Queensland. They're probably happy with how this second quarter's kind of gone, and more importantly, it appears that we haven't had a whole lot of injuries to either camps, so that's the best thing we can hope for moving into week 4 next week.
Oh, definitely. You want to make sure everyone is able to go to work on Monday, so just keep everyone healthy.
Check this out. I'm just looking at the feed here. A lot of Wolfpack tuning in. They're obviously watching before their game. Hello to the New South Wales Wolfpack, and they're obviously in Perth. A later start there.
Yeah, maybe they won't show too much more for the rest of this game.
That's exactly right. They're probably keeping a few cards closer to their chest. Queensland will be travelling down to Sydney to take on the Wolfpack at Wollongong in the coming weeks. And another return there from, was that Burford this time?
I was just waiting for the flags, but...
Yeah, how about that?
It might be the first kickoff without a flag.
And SA now, they're fighting to add some points to their for and against at the moment as well. But also for the pride you want, feel a bit better on that flight back to South Australia.
I mean, they went toe-to-toe with Queensland, they're the national champion.
Yeah, that first quarter in particular.
And they got 17 points. I mean, you got to be proud of that, but go back home and work on what you need to do to score more than that next time.
Short pass here, and landed very awkwardly, did Hamish Lee Robbins.
Is that William Mahi again? Second down now, a short gain, probably about 2, possibly 3 yards on that swing pass out there to Robbins. It's 2x2 set.
Pass out to Draper. Draper's met by Reese Perkins. Reese Perkins moving in, getting some time in the defensive back rotation now. A lot of challenge. It was a starter last tournament there, but obviously a lot of competition for cornerback spots nowadays. But still a very damaging player. Still registered amongst the most picks over the last 4 seasons in Gridiron Queensland, and even at the national level.
He's a great player and very knowledgeable. It's like that South Australia trying to speed it up a bit here. You can see Daniel Wenban out there getting his first snaps on defense.
Temenson, pass incomplete. Pass is picked off by Tommy Trevina. Picked one off earlier, but it was called back. And he takes that one back, not for the 6 points he did the first time, or the net 6 points, but takes it back nonetheless, and that'll still be a pick to his name this tournament.
And if you're the Queensland coaches, you've got to look back at this and be pretty happy with most of what's happened throughout today. So,
no, Ryan Newton's looking at me showing his helmet or something. I think he's busted a strap on there or something. And someone's asked if the Sharks 20 by my count. Sharks with 2 touchdowns and a field goal. We're 17's right.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns, fuck. I don't, yeah.
As we look 56-17, I believe we are in the still corrected with 17 there, but
Maths is hard.
to correct us if we're incorrect, but I believe 17 is the right score for the South Australian team. First down, and with very few seconds remaining here, Tommy Corwin will take a knee. Back to the shotgun where he prefers, though.
That might wrap it up.
This might be wrapping us up here in Queensland. And there it is. So with the third and fourth quarters short, and that will bring us to the end here, full time out of Evan Park. And the final score reads 56-17. The Queensland Sun Devils with their second victory of this tournament. And that should continue their winning ways towards the top end of the ladder. South Australia will have 2 more chances to register a win here in the AGL. Overall thoughts, mate? Obviously, that first half was really competitive. The first quarter, in particular, South Australia had a really good offensive game plan, Mike.
Oh, I was really happy. They came up here and they showed us what they got. They were in it there. They just couldn't keep up with Queensland. They were just Queensland were too disciplined. They're structurally too disciplined.
Yeah, maybe not penalties.
Yeah, not penalties. The penalties were a little bit, frustrating for the coaches. Overall, I think they played well. It was a good game. Queensland did what they were supposed to do. So yeah.
And but look, if it's South Australia, you've proven to the entire league that you know how to move that football, and they've proved they've got great guys on the outside. I honestly think that the linemen or the makeshift linemen they had today, they stood up, particularly in long patches of the games there, and occasionally some of that size differential did come in, but geez, they came in with attitude, didn't they?
Oh, and you're right. Like we mentioned, their AFL background is mainly the sport in South Australia, but those guys still came in. There was only 1 sack on Tommy, and it was actually more so a coverage sack. So that offensive line did. The offensive line did really well for South Australia.
We're just going to get a final score there. We've got 56-17. We might have got lost there. We're actually going to get the referees to check on that, and we will post that in our Facebook update. That it will make sure the final score will be correct on the Facebook pages. We understand that we could have missed that there, so apologies if that's the case. But we'll take a look. We'll look at the upcoming games there. So obviously today we saw Queensland versus South Australia, WA, Victoria soon to kick off.
Is there a live stream for that one?
Yeah, there'll be a stream kicking off very soon, I imagine. South Australia, well, they'll be hosting the WA Raiders next week, 2 o'clock local time. I'm hearing is in my ears the stream for the next game, and then New South Wales versus Queensland. That'll be happening down in Robert Zeems Park, Cornwall, New South Wales. A bit of a drive down from the airport for Queensland. And then right at the end, Victoria and New South Wales. Both of these games could be proving to be very telling in the final standings. Victoria and New South Wales will be looking to compete there. New South Wales will need to put on a good win there if they want to try and wrestle that way for Victoria.
Yep.
And then WA and Queensland, the two currently undefeated teams there. It could be coming down to another matchup where they will be playing off for the national championship again.
I mean, we're very fortunate to have a lot of great football coming up very, very soon. So, super keen.
And yeah, just confirming that there is a chance we got the score wrong there, but
yeah,
we will be getting that checked off there. So we might sign off now, but we will have the accurate score reflected in all the Facebook reports to come. Kenny Andres here. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage here by us and by live streaming Brisbane and our director Paul Mills and Mike Jones.
Thanks for having me,
mate.
Kenny. Had it fun, like heaps of fun.
So thank you for joining us today, and shout out to Gridiron Queensland, their sponsor Trouble Sport, and also TSG, the leading sponsor for the Brisbane Runners who hosted today's event. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. We will see you again next time.